This is Don't Mind Me, I'm Different. And I'm your host, Ron Souers, here to teach you how to put a foot in depression's ass and turn ADHD from a perceived weakness into a superpower, where you can be the hero in your own story. Let me be your guide to join in legions of Avengers just like yourself. Speak out and break the chains of this stigma. So you'll be the one at your job that people come to instead of running away from. Take back your life and own your difference. Just a quick disclaimer, I'm just a guy with ADHD and depression. I am not a professional. So if you are struggling with these, depression especially, please seek out professional help before it's too late. Hey, what's up, my ADHD warriors? Welcome to episode 17 of Don't Mind Me, I'm Different, where I ask the hard questions, the ones that need to be asked. I'm your host, Ron Souers, and today we're exploring something that's been flying under the radar for far too long: how ADHD shows up differently in women. Now, if you're just tuning in, you might think this is just another episode with stats and research. Well, I promise you, it's not. As always, we're going to turn this into an experiment. And yes, there's a game. So stick with me to the end and listen as the plot thickens. Ready? Let's roll out.
That's so interesting. I was just gonna say, I feel like I see it more in boys.
Yeah.
I don't know. But yeah, I would say that. Yeah. But I feel like I see it more in boys, actually.
Okay, let's kick this off by talking about societal expectations. Ladies, I'm sure you're familiar with this. Since you were a little girl, society preaches you've got to be nurturing, organized, put together, and always emotionally available. But what happens when your ADHD or depression doesn't quite fit into that mold? It often gets missed, ignored, or labeled something else entirely different. Here's the thing. Research shows that men are actually 5 times more likely to get diagnosed, and on average, it is up to 5 years earlier. Now let's think about that for a moment and the disadvantages that it creates. According to clinical psychologist Stephanie Giorgio, many women feel pressure to fit in and tend to think that what is wrong with me, or that they are lazy or stupid, rather than maybe society is the one that got it wrong. And get this, women are often better at masking their symptoms than men. Why is that? Because societal expectations pressure them to keep it together. And when they do speak up about possibly having it, they get told that not everything needs to be diagnosed, or she may be just a bit chatty. And masking takes energy, serious mental effort to act like everything is fine, and when inside, it feels like you're juggling fire. Think about it. How many times have you heard, she's just emotional, or she just gets like that, when really this woman is battling ADHD or depression or both that's never been diagnosed? Now just imagine, how would you feel if you had to hide who you really are all the time? Masking is survival, not a solution. When you spend so much energy covering up symptoms to meet society's expectations, like trying to date the high school quarterback just to fit in, the core issue stays hidden. It's like putting on makeup over a bruise. You can't see it, but it's still there. Now let's spice it up by talking about hormones. Yeah, we're going there. Hormonal fluctuations throughout life, such as puberty, menstruation, pregnancy, menopause, these can really hijack emotions and how ADHD and depression presents themselves in women. And the thing is, it's not just about mood swings. ADHD symptoms like inattentiveness and impulsivity can get worse around these times, leading to more struggles with focus, motivation, and emotional regulation. Modern psychology and research reveal that many women aren't diagnosed until later on in life, oftentimes after having children or during menopause, because these hormonal shifts finally make their ADHD more apparent. So imagine going through your entire life thinking you just weren't good enough, only to find out it was undiagnosed ADHD all along. Many women have stated that it was like finding that missing piece of the puzzle and that they were really pissed off about not getting the help. So your brain chemistry shifts throughout your life. Hormones can either magnify or mask ADHD and depression, meaning that understanding your body's changes is key to unlocking better mental health. Hey, my ADHD warriors. Ever feel like your mind's a bit scattered? Struggling to keep track of your day, stay focused, or just handle all the noise? Well, say goodbye to those distractions because Meta Ray-Bans have got your back and your brain. Look, these aren't just regular shades. Meta Ray-Bans are equipped with built-in smart technology to help keep your focus sharp and your day under control. Imagine no more fumbling for your phone. Just tap your frames to take calls or listen to music. Or when you need a quick break from sensory overload, one swipe and you're lost in your favorite podcast or playlist. It's that easy. With their sleek, stylish design, you can seamlessly navigate your world, cutting through distractions and staying focused on what matters most. Plus, they sync with your phone and easily set reminders. And if you're anything like me and you forget the thing that you just went upstairs for, they're perfect. Whether you're out and about, working, or winding down, Meta Ray-Bans are here to keep your ADHD in check while you're looking like a super spy. So why not give your focus the boost it deserves? Check out Meta Ray-Bans today and see the world through a lens that was designed for you. So head on over to dadwss.com/start here and discover how these smart glasses can level up your day. Meta Ray-Bans, the shades that think for you. That's dadwss.com/start-HERE and get yours today. So the way ADHD looks in women is different. Inattentiveness, emotional overwhelm, and internal struggles are often overlooked because they don't match the hyperactive boy stereotype. So girls often slip through the cracks until later in life. This happens because diagnostic criteria for ADHD were originally based on studies of boys and men, leading to gender biases that still affect women today. Plus, many women growing up have a lot of structure and support to fall back on. It may not be until later in life that when those things are gone and they have a lot more responsibility, that these symptoms become more apparent. Look, I'm not saying that all women don't get diagnosed. I've met plenty that have, but we need to talk about the ones that don't.
Yeah, I do see it. So in my work line, we can't really like diagnose anything. Like we can't say that we suspect anything till they turn 4. So the children that I work with that are like 3, I mean, I can have like some kind, like I can predict some things, but then we have to kind of lay low and see how they do throughout the year.
Yeah.
And once they turn 4, then we can share things that we're seeing, so
Yeah.
they can get help.
Because we leave no warriors behind. Getting a late diagnosis has profound effects, such as, most importantly, a huge hit to women's confidence and overall mental health, with increased risks of depression and anxiety. Plus, life expectancy is lower overall with those diagnosed with ADHD due to impulsivity by engaging in destructive or high-risk behavior. So if a doctor isn't looking for ADHD, then it could easily look like something else, such as a personality disorder, anxiety, or depression, to list a few, which each take a different treatment. Imagine what it would feel like if the spotlight is always on you and you feel afraid to ask for help, because every time that you do, you basically are being told that you don't know what you're talking about. Stephanie says that many of her clients have this all or nothing mindset, that if they can't get it all done or it seems overwhelming then they won't do anything. This tends to play out in eating disorders and body shaming, from either forgetting to eat or turning to comfort foods to escape. From struggling to plan effectively, always being late, keeping up with friends, and navigating subtle relationships dynamics, it can feel like walking through a minefield. If I have trouble maintaining focus and can't even walk my dog, how can I do life? With that in mind, it starts to make sense why many individuals with ADHD, and not just women, have relationships with people that are unhealthy and turn to other ways of coping just to escape the emotional pain. Look, I don't say all this to bring you down, just to open your eyes that the struggle is real and that it is never too late to get the help that you need. Never hesitate to reach out for support. Yeah.
I've yet to meet another female with ADHD, so I guess
Yeah?
just in college.
Okay. So was it difficult for you to figure that out or to see that?
Actually, I don't know whether I have ADHD or not. I guess.
So you don't have anybody that's like helping you with that?
No, because I think it is not serious for me.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Maybe I don't have it. Yeah.
Do you
Hide it better when they're little kids.
do you know
Mask.
Oh, sorry. Do you know why?
I do not.
I guess just trying to fit in better.
Yeah.
Like nothing's wrong.
Calculated, and like you said, like they're more like expressive and so they can like mask it a little bit more, and so
Oh, yeah.
we don't really pay too much attention to them.
Does have ADHD. I think they don't really want to talk about it.
Yeah.
But I think my friends doesn't actually have one, but but
Mhm.
to be honest, I don't have so many friends that they feel very comfortable to talk about this.
Definitely. My parents never even believed that ADHD was even a thing until I, got of age.
Wow.
And I went off and I got it tested, on my own. And that's when, they finally realized that it was true. And it affects women sometimes worse than it does, men.
Yeah.
It's more, I would say it's more surface level when you're a child. So
Yeah.
you don't really realize it as much as you would as as an adult. But as you get older, it gets progressively worse, and it's, like I said, frustrating.
Oh yeah, yeah.
But you do work, you do have ways to cope with it. I can definitely say that, when you do feel those triggers of like forgetting and, going too fast, you just have to remember to slow down and just breathe.
Yeah. Yeah, breathing is a huge one. Like, it's so undervalued.
Yes, sir.
Bring
You don't
it.
know where life goes, especially when you have ADHD.
I know, especially.
Yeah.
So do you find like that there was barriers being a female to discovering ADHD or getting the help?
Yeah, a lot. I was tested when I was younger, and they're like, it's something you're going to grow out of. And as life continued, I continued to not grow out of it. And
Yeah.
a lot of the things that I struggled with became really devastating, and because I didn't recognize what it was, but it became very devastating when I was in school and in the workplace, and a lot of the social interactions and relationships I have. It's hard.
Okay, what was like the biggest struggle for you? What'd you say?
Interpersonal relationships and understanding social skills, as well as being able to understand like my limitations with burnout and
Yeah.
those behaviors that lead to burnout, and recognizing that was really difficult for me.
Yes, definitely. I wasn't diagnosed until I was 12 years old,
Okay.
and that was after many suspensions and troubles.
Yeah,
So-
they just thought you were a troublemaker.
Yeah, exactly. And I was, but
Right? I mean, but you really didn't like understand it.
yeah.
You know, so what does like the help look like for you? How is that like help?
Help?
Yeah.
I think help would look like getting more therapy,
Okay.
behavior therapy to be exact,
Yeah.
a bit non-traditional, and getting back medicated.
Yeah.
I'm not currently medicated and haven't been for years. It's just something that I've been opposed to because of the stigma.
Yeah.
But now that I've had more resources and been able to educate myself a little bit more, I think
Okay.
that getting a managed medication regimen would be good.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
So, do you have other like female friends that have ADHD, or do you
Not
know?
that I know of.
Do you see kind of like some maybe
Definitely.
symptoms?
Definitely. And a lot of my friends, yeah.
And maybe like the whole stigma behind it is getting in the way, or like.
Oh,
would
for
you
sure. Yeah. Yes. A lot of my friends, definitely in the Black community, there is a stigma about going to go and get checked, or even talking to someone, reaching out to get help. So definitely that has to do a lot to do with it.
Yeah. So what's that stigma show up like?
It shows up as teasing or ignoring a lot of the symptoms,
Yeah.
masking all the time to avoid being stigmatized,
Yeah.
social isolation or backlash or anything like that.
So just trying to fit in.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Do you know like some ways that you do? Do you try to fit in, or?
Yeah, definitely. I definitely try to mask a lot when walking in a room that's unfamiliar. I'm very observant before I even act.
Yeah.
I try to get a feel for the room and the scene and what's going on. Hyper vigilant, I would say, and that has helped me a lot in life in general to be observant.
Hey there, ADHD warriors. I know you've been enjoying my podcast, and I love you for it. That's why I got something special for you. I'm excited to invite you to join my Patreon community. Now, you might be wondering, why should I even sign up? Well, let me tell you exactly why it benefits you. First off, by becoming a Patreon supporter, you're not just helping me create more content. You're unlocking exclusive benefits just for you. We're talking early access to new episodes, bonus content that dives even deeper into powerful strategies for ADHD and depression, and exclusive merchandise. Plus, you'll get to join an amazing community of like-minded individuals who are all about advocating, learning, and thriving with ADHD and depression. But that's not all. As a member, you'll get personal shout-outs in the episodes and have the chance to vote on future topics. So your voice helps shape the direction of the show. Have burning questions or ideas you want to explore? Patreon members can submit questions directly to me, and I'll tackle them in upcoming episodes or Q&As. So if you've been loving the podcast and you want to take this journey further, head over to patreon.com/Ron Souers and choose the tier that works for you. Your support helps me continue to provide the ADHD and depression content you love while giving you the extra perks to get even more out of it. Join the family, level up your ADHD game, and let's keep this movement going strong together. I can't wait to see you on the other side. So once again, that's patreon.com/RonSoures. Your next step towards thriving with ADHD starts now. Now, here's a framework that I got from Stephanie Georgio's What's Eating You podcast, which I'll leave in the show notes, that she calls focus. So the F stands for find your patterns. So figure out what works for your brain. Analyze what is working for you, like your triggers. Like keep a journal. For me, what's really helped is like creating a daily assessment. So I categorize my wins and my losses for the day, and I add them up. Also, kind of journal in there where it's like if I struggle with something, and so I can kind of catch my patterns, and seeing like, okay, this is something that might trigger me. She also talks about evaluating your strengths and weaknesses. So some of my strengths would be creativity and, the love of learning. So I love to learn about new things, and, but often that my prudence is not as strong. So I don't really, know when to taper that off. Like I want to get all these books and read everything, but then I get overwhelmed. So I need to, I'm learning to get better at like, look, I can only focus on this much at one time. I can look at that later. And, like with starting your day strong. So like those low level tasks, like such as scrolling and, watching TV, I would put those as more of a reward and like focus earlier on in the day when I know I've got the most optimal time to use my brain. Then I go forward with, the harder tasks, like such as writing the episode and of a podcast or whatever that may look like for you. The next one is organized to success. So creating a system. So that system could be for the food that you eat. Like I'm going to eat breakfast, and I'm going to have a snack at around this time, and then I'm going to eat lunch and then another snack. It's even cleaning, like your dishes, like saying, I'm going to put the system for me cleaning dishes. I'm going to, after I get done eating, I'm going to put it in the dishwasher. Those type of things. Just create like mini steps. Also visual reminders. such as a whiteboard, or Post-it notes, so you can stick those on for your goals for the week in a place that you're gonna see them. I'm a big fan of whiteboards, and so that they're there in a place where I'm like, okay, I know I've got to do that, or I've got a reminder of like why I'm doing a certain thing, so that I continue to stay motivated or disciplined towards that goal. She also talks about digital calendars where you can even schedule a walk, which is interesting. So be creative with that, but also understand what works for you. The next one is connect with support. So this is anything from therapy to coaches, anybody in your life that you feel like you can talk to about the problems that you're having, in a way that it's just going to stay between you and them, and that they're going to support you in a loving, caring way. You can also get your family or friends involved, and let them know how they can help you. The U stands for unwind with intention. So self-care is huge. I've often been, heard it described that, like my ADHD brain has a old iPhone battery. So it's always needs to be charged. So protect that battery with mindful breaks. She talks about limiting overstimulation and prioritizing sleep by going to bed early and limiting caffeine. Just like I was talking about in the previous episode about, trying to reduce or eliminate your caffeine because it's not helping you achieve the benefits that sleep is actually going to give you. And getting to bed earlier has helped me to find my optimal time. And really, it just helps with that self-care. Like I'm doing this for me. And my mind and my body are thanking me for it. So, because I'm not running around burnt out all day long, and not my best self. And that's affecting not only myself, but other people. And S stands for set self-compassion as a priority. And she says, no one is going to speak to you better than you speak to yourself. No one, I can attest, I continue to get better with the way that I talk to myself, the way that, especially when I'm not where I think I should be, or if a relationship, an interaction didn't go as I planned, and not beating myself and calling me a failure and telling me I need to give that up, but reminding myself of what I did. Focus on what you're getting done and what you have, not instead of what you haven't. It's so easy for us to focus on what we didn't do. I could spend all day worrying about I could have done this and I could have done that. And it's very hard to get away from that mindset, trying to make up lost time. It's just, I can't do anything about that. The only thing I can do is focus on what I'm going to do in the future. And the only thing I can do about the past is just remember, hey, I'm further along than I was. So don't let those setbacks define who you are. Setback, for me, I'm right where I need to be. I may not always be in tune with that idea, but the more that I continue to remind myself, I'm in a good place. I'm right where I need to be. There is something I need to learn here. I may not know it right now, but this is going to help me. So I hope that helps you guys moving forward. And definitely check that episode out. And I'm going to put that in the show notes. So why does this all matter? Because stereotypes about gender still play a huge role in how ADHD and depression are viewed and diagnosed. Women are often expected to be caretakers, the multitaskers, the organized ones. And when ADHD makes those things difficult, it's easy for them to be labeled as lazy or flaky. So here we go. I wanted to give you ladies some hope. So here's some famous women who have publicly shared their experience with ADHD, showcasing how they've navigated their challenges and turned them into strengths. Simone Biles, the most decorated U.S. Olympic gymnast with 23 gold medals, was diagnosed with ADHD as a child. She revealed this in 2016 after hackers leaked her medical records, showing she takes Ritalin with approval for competition. Biles has said having ADHD and taking medicine for it is nothing to be ashamed of, emphasizing how swimming and gymnastics helped her channel her energy and focus. Emma Watson, known for her role as Hermione Granger in the Harry Potter series, Watson was diagnosed with ADHD at age 8. While she hasn't spoken extensively about it, reports indicated she was medicated during filming. Her academic success, graduating from Brown University, and advocacy work as a UN Goodwill ambassador highlight her ability to thrive despite ADHD. Sloane Knowles, the singer-songwriter and sister of Beyonce, was diagnosed with ADHD as an adult. She initially doubted the diagnosis, saying, "I didn't believe the first doctor who told me," but later recognized how it fuels her creativity in music. Knowles sees it as a superpower in her professional life. It's awesome. Greta Gerwig, the acclaimed director of Lady Bird, Little Women, and Barbie, has openly discussed her ADHD. She described her childhood as full of tremendous enthusiasm and a really active imagination, traits she credits for her creative success in filmmaking. Michelle Rodriguez, famous for her tough roles in Lost and Fast and Furious, Rodriguez revealed her ADHD in a 2006 Cosmopolitan interview. She chose not to medicate, fearing it might hinder her career. Yet she's built a successful acting resume, proving her resilience. Paris Hilton, the socialite and businesswoman, detailed her ADHD in her memoir, Paris, the memoir. Diagnosed at 12, she said it disrupted and defined her life. But she channeled her energy into building a multi-billion-dollar empire, showing ADHD doesn't limit her ambition, nor anyone else's. And Mel B, the Spice Girl singer, has ADHD alongside dyslexia and dyspraxia. She told Paul McKenna's Positivity podcast that exercise helps her manage it, saying, "It helps me focus on me for that 1 hour," turning her high energy into a tool for mental clarity. See what I'm saying? It's that medicine, that magic medicine, that exercise. So check out my last episode. These women demonstrate that ADHD, while challenging, can coexist with extraordinary achievement. Their stories reflect a mix of personal strategies, like physical activity, passion-driven focus, or simply embracing their unique wiring to overcome obstacles and excel in their fields. That's what I'm talking about. Like, ADHD isn't the problem. It's the stigma and misunderstanding behind it. And once I know that I've tapped into it, like, I'm just beginning to scratch the surface on what I can do and anyone else. Here's where the twist comes in. What if we gamify the expectations? What if we flipped this gender bias on its head? All right, here's the moment you've been waiting for. The game is called the power up. I want you to think of one stereotype about women with ADHD or depression, like she's just emotional or she's disorganized. Now I'm going to challenge you to turn that stereotype into a power up. For example, she's just emotional becomes she's emotionally intuitive. Or she's disorganized becomes she's creatively adaptive. So the point is, our differences can be our strengths. Once we see through the lens of ADHD and depression in women, we can finally break free from the narratives written about us by society. Your mission, should you choose to accept it, is to play the power up with yourself and others this week. Whenever you catch a stereotype creeping into your head, whether it's about yourself or someone else, power it up into a strength and see how it changes your perspective. And that's a wrap, folks. It's been a real pleasure for me. And if this episode hit home for you, share it with somebody who you feel needs to hear it, especially the women in your life. Diagnosis, hormones, societal pressures. It's a complicated puzzle. But together, we can experiment, learn, and power up the way we talk about ADHD and depression in women. So, don't forget to subscribe, and I'd love to hear your thoughts. What stereotype did you power up this week? Hit me up on social, and let's continue this conversation. And as always, may the source be with you.